Hey there, folks. It's the E-Man here. And I guess I wanted to talk about, of course, as you can see behind me, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I've seen a lot of the videos, a lot of people talking about it. I've played the game. Let's see, where am I? I'm currently stuck at I think the third key boss. I have to get keys to unlock a tower or something. The final thing. Let's see. Yes. Yeah. The NPC characters. I've met one other one, and yes, it is a little bit annoying. It does kind of take away a little bit from it. Especially the first guy who's kind of like, oh, go to a save point, go here. I didn't find him as annoying as some people do, but eventually he's not with you. They talk to you over the radio, and it's big of a deal. The whole motorcycle thing, I remember hearing that you have to pay $40 for some amiibo in order to play music when you're on the motorcycle. And riding on the motorcycle in the desert is there's not a whole lot out there. I don't know if it's something to do with the issue that it was a originally a Switch One game at heart. So technically, we're getting So I have the Switch Two version. I guess if you have the Switch One version, you can pay $10 and upgrade to the Switch Two version. But Nintendo doesn't really seem to be marketing the Switch One version all that much. Yeah, I mean Nintendo's charging a lot of money. I mean Nintendo's becoming like every other company. Well, I mean Sony and Xbox. How many times have they raised the price on their console? So it's like, you know, do you think $800 is a lot to pay for a console that's 4 years old, or whatever? I mean, I did get a Switch 2. I do feel like maybe I should have waited before getting one to make sure there was a good lineup of games. I think this was the game here that really wanted to make me want to do it. Beyond, yeah, Beyond, yeah, yeah. And we had a long wait between from Metroid Prime 3 to here. It was like 18 years, and this game in particular took 8 years in development. I remember Bandai Namco was going to make it, and then they dropped it, and then they had to kind of redo the whole thing, and Retro Studios had to come back and do it. It's like I love the Metroid Prime games, but when you come back to this game and you see pretty much the same stuff going on, I feel like they should have updated some of the stuff you're used to in Metroid Prime. I mean, I understand, but it's like you need to try to improve it. I guess they thought that adding the motorcycle and these NPC characters was somehow going to make up for the fact that, I love the Prime games. Don't get me wrong, but as you have to, game series I think do have to evolve at some point, if you're just going to get dried out. Like, I mean, even well, I don't know. It's like there's so many Call of Duties, there's so many Grand Theft Auto games. It's like, when does it get to the point where they can't really do anymore, and this series is kind of dormant, or it's like worn out or something? It's like, and parts of this game did remind me of like, Legend of Zelda. Um, Actually, more reminded me more of the Wind Waker. Remember when it was that water, the giant ocean that you had to travel on, and you had to figure out where everything was, and it felt kind of empty as well. Yeah, and then we had Navi the fairy back in Ocarina of Time, and everyone said she was annoying, but you didn't actually hear her talk, and you didn't have to actually talk to her anyway. Yeah, people felt like that was crazy, but Navi the fairy was done in a very unique way. She told you how to fight things and fight enemies and whatever, but it's like, sometimes it's good to have help, but you don't want your hand held through the whole freaking thing. get the basic idea. Another big thing is save points. Yeah. You have to save continuously, and you do risk losing a lot of progress if you die. On bosses, there is a checkpoint, so thankfully there's that, so you can retry the boss fight like multiple times if you're stuck on it. Well, the bosses I fought so far weren't too bad. They weren't like super bad, weren't really super good either, and maybe it was said there isn't a defined villain really in this at all. Well, the interesting place is the cool stuff is we get introduced to a new race. I think they're called the Laymoan, I believe. Yeah, there's like some psychic race. Their planet, their race is kind of like, I guess, has somewhat died out. And Samus is just watching recordings of them. Yeah, basically they want Samus to save because they have this psychic tree and they want Samus to get the fruit from this tree and take it to another planet so that they're like a, a thought that a part of them can still kind of exist and Samus will know that they existed. What is that? The worst fear of any race is for people to not know they even existed. Yeah, essentially, we start out, we're at a Galactic Federation base, I guess. They have an important artifact. The space pirates want it. I guess some new bounty hunter dude is teamed up with the space pirates. He's got Metroids that can fuse with critters. Every boss, I guess, is kind of infused with a Metroid or something, which doesn't really make sense to me. Well, essentially, like, Samus and him start to fight. He shoots, he hits the artifact, activate it, and they kind of teleport a lot of people and a lot of things to this planet in the middle of nowhere. Like, they don't even know where the planet is. And essentially, when you have to go get all these keys so you can get into the tower and get into I guess there's a ship there so Samus can take off. Because supposedly this race they had a prophecy of a chosen one coming, so they like, I guess they had a belief that someone was going to come and be their savior. So they kind of all this stuff. They made sure all this stuff was left around for Samus to find because Samus is like the chosen one for them. We've seen other games where they've tried to go to different planets, or have us exposed to different races or whatnot. Yeah, I mean, Metroid Prime 3, it brought in the Galactic Federation, but not as much as this did, and a lot of weird controls. But, of course, we've had Metroid Prime 1 remastered on the Switch, which still a great game. I remember playing Metroid Prime 2, and I really loved that. The whole Ing and the Dark World, a world that's split in half between dark and light. That was really cool. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, it seems to be doing what's safe, and then doing some really weird things. Perhaps this is what the problem was. Well, remember a lot of times when Disney makes movies, they want the director to do exactly what they want them to do. Perhaps Nintendo wanted too much control over Bandai Namco's version of Metroid Prime 4, which we may never get to see the light of day. It's like, I always wondered what Bandai Namco's version of this game would have been. Perhaps that's what the problem was. Bandai Namco went to Nintendo and said, "We're not going to do it this way." And Nintendo's like, "You're going to do it this way or you're done." So I don't know if something like that may have happened. Nintendo just wanted Bandai Namco. Nintendo wanted too much creative influence over the game, and Bandai Namco is like, "No, we're not making a game like that." And remember, Bandai Namco, they're not any slouches. They make some great games. So, I mean, a great company like that to just all of a sudden be done doing Metroid Prime 4, there must be some more stuff behind the scenes. Yes. Another real annoyance is Samus does not talk in this game, like at all. A lot of times I feel like the other NPC characters say something, and I feel like Samus should say something, and she doesn't, and I don't understand why they're doing that. Well, even the Legend of Zelda games, we have Link that kind of grunts or whatever. I mean, Samus doesn't make any noise at all. She just kind of shakes her head or something like that. It's like I don't know. She's more of a Mandalorian or something. She never takes off her helmet for anything. Yeah, I mean, I know that the game Other M had Samus talking, and maybe that was a mistake. But a lot of people think Other M is almost kind of terribly funny, not terribly bad, but terribly funny. Like people have made a lot of memes over Metroid Other M. I have that game too. I do own that game. Yeah, it's like it's a funny bad kind of game. Metroid Prime 4, there's a lot of stuff that if it's not broke, don't fix it. I feel like Retro Studios just didn't really. They just kind of didn't really try to improve. Just kind of go with what they've been going with in the previous games, which isn't bad, but it's just. I wish it was something more innovative. And remember, it's been 18 years. It's been 18 years since Metroid Prime 3. You would think there would have been a lot more a concept of improvements. And remember, Metroid is no stranger to long periods of time between games. Like, let's see, like how long was it between? Yeah, it was a long time between Super Metroid. Yeah, how long was it between Super Metroid and Metroid Prime? Like, I mean, there was a long distance between Metroid games, and sometimes there's just these giant gaps. Well, not only that, I mean, how long has it been since we had a Star Fox game? Was it Star Fox Zero? And that was like received very terribly too. So I don't know. Sometimes there's IPs that Nintendo doesn't care about, and I guess they don't care about Star Fox. And I feel like Nintendo doesn't really care about Metroid. They're just using it to milk some money out of people, and then maybe no consideration if the game's actually good or is it's the best that it could be. But at the end of the day, Nintendo is a company and they need to make money. So it's like, yeah. I mean, Nintendo just seems every day seems to become more and more like everybody else, like all the other major game companies. They're just like everybody else. They want to make money. And it's like, it's like your DLC, amiibos. Yeah, I mean the price of the Switch 2, the prices of some Switch 2 games. I mean, just crazy. Ultimately, I think that ultimately, I will not. I would suggest that someone just make up your own mind if you want it. If you want Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, if you really want to try the game, then buy the game. But I would I wouldn't tell anyone to just jump out and buy this game. Definitely, like look at reviews, see what you might like or dislike. I personally am kind of in the middle. I don't think this game is super terrible, but it's not super good either. It's kind of in the middle. It's a fun little game to play, but I mean, it's like, yeah, this is not like a 60 hour, Metroid Mania or something. This is just like, I think some people were talking about like 16-hour game or something. So I guess it's just keep an open mind to like really look into this game before you think about trying to get it. Yeah, and be aware of what you're getting into. It's yeah. I I mean I don't know. Has it been worth the wait? I don't really know. I just you know I don't know of what I don't think there's any updates or anything Nintendo could do to this game that would make it be like super duper. I guess we'll just be happy with this, and hopefully, when they do, well, if they ever do Metroid Prime 5, that they learn from this. You know, maybe it's been a hiatus. 18 years is a long time, so maybe we just have to accept that Metroid Prime 4 is really not up to our expectations as much as we thought it would be. So maybe Nintendo needs to make another Metroid Prime game before they can, fix whatever issues they probably need to update the Metroid Prime formula for a more modern time. Since so many things have advanced in 18 years, so yeah. Well, okay. Well, this has been my thoughts on Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. 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 Yep. And as I said, I'm in the middle of the road. It's not a super terrible game, but it's not really a super duper good game either. It's kind of in the middle. A nice little game to have on the Switch too, because there's seems to be very limited on what major games are on the Switch too at the moment. But yeah, I mean, I've had no performance issues with this, so I mean, that's a plus. No performance issues with the Switch 2 version. Yeah, I mean, a good picture. I don't have a 4K television, so yeah, I have to do the 1080p 60 FPS, but the frame rate's stable. I don't really see any graphic issues. No, no draw times with the graphics showing up or anything. It's just, yeah. Oh well. Well, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And feel free to leave any comments. Like, what do you guys think of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? Does it live up to your expectations, or does it kind of fall short or fall flat on its face, kind of thing? Yeah, yeah. I just like to know what other people's opinions are because I think that this. I just thought this is definitely something I needed to talk about in the gaming world. So, it's like I said, if you guys have any other, guys have express any of your feelings on Metroid Prime 4? Is it a great game? Do you think it's a great game, or do you think it just has a lot of problems? I think this game has a lot of problems, but it's still a Metroid Prime. It's still a Metroid Prime game, though. So definitely has that going for it. Well, anyway, I will see you guys in the next video then. Catch you guys later. Bye.